So, I am remastering the first 10 episodes of Project Dakota that you know if you've been watching. They were very boring to me, so what I've been doing is I am planning to remaster every episode starting with this one. That being said, there's times where I didn't take care of my appearance, or, I didn't look quite right on camera, and there's times where there's a lot of dead air. I'll try to cut out as much as I can, but there's only so much I can do with what I'm working with. But this is for me. This is for me, okay? This Dakota was my daily driver for 2-3 years. All the way up until this happened. I don't want to get into too many details. Let's just say, person that hit me was on their phone. Insurance totaled it out. But I don't want to get rid of the truck. So the rear axle is bent. I'll get into how I know that in a minute. So this rear differential is going to have to come out. I'm going to sell off what I can from it. I do have one good axle from the right side. Here's the one from the left side. Just bust it off. So there's a few ways you can tell if a rear differential is bent like this. One way, if you pull it out and you need to have both wheels on it, and if it rolls straight, then the axle's not bent. They also recommend you put some, I think, like hang some string along a straight line too, and the tires should track, the same spot. Now I can't do that because, as you might have noticed, I can't put a wheel on that side. So the way I figured it out is you measure from here, or some spot where you have the same measurement. So what I ended up doing was I measured from, I believe it was right back here to our gear housing. There's another flat right here that I measured up against. So I made 3 different measurements. I had one at the very bottom. I had one, I think it was like here, and one on the very other side. 22 inches here, 22 inches here, 21 and 15/16 on the back, which is not much, but it's enough to make a bend. So what happened is she hit me here, bent my wheel on that, and then it shoved the entire axle that way. Leaf springs are bent too, by the way. Batteries were pulled out on it. Trying to keep these connectors dry. I got some like Ziploc bags, and then I couldn't find the zip ties at the store. I found this hanging wire. Do not do that. You are better off just leaving them unplugged with nothing covering them. Because I realized about a couple weeks later when I went out, those bags were full of water. And I never put on camera that happened. So I've seen cars that were sitting in junkyards with connectors unplugged for God knows how long, and they looked fine. So really just put some electrical cleaner on them before you plug them back in. You'll be fine.
Hey buddy, look over here! Haha, now you're blind!
Alright, so you should have seen me put this in neutral already, so that this does spin. Now, granted, big safety concern here. If you're working on your car and you don't have it supported kind of like I do, since this is rear-wheel drive, actually it's four-wheel drive, but you get the point. When it's in park, the drive shaft is holding this still. So if you pull your drive shaft out with all 4 wheels still on the ground and nothing chalked, your car's gonna roll on you. Oh, I lost you. again if it's stuck in the transfer case. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so I am going to pull the carrier and the pinion gear and all that, but I forgot my puller at work, so I'm just going to pull these later. Makes you quite amazed that came apart. I actually want to save this right rear brake backing plate, but these spark brake cables are kind of a pain to disconnect, and I really don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I just put on a 14 mil socket, hammered it on, gave her everything with the impact gun, and it came right out. So my friend, I was talking to him, he said it takes a lot of force to bend one of these. I didn't believe him at first, but look at this. Not even doing anything to it. I could try a sledgehammer, but there's no point. The error around that last bolt, I couldn't get a socket on it, but fortunately hitting it with a hammer broke it right off. I'm not worried about removing this because this whole axle scrap. Well, almost the whole axle scrap. Like I said, there's a couple things I can sell off it. So last thing we got are the shocks, the U-bolts, and that brake hose. I think I'm just going to cut that brake hose because I have a new one. All right, I've got a jack underneath here because once I pull these bolts out, bottom bolts out for the struts, it's actually going to push the axle down because the struts keep the springs from coming all the way back down. So keeping it loaded will keep that from going down too fast on me. So I had a friend help me get this jacked up. There's a couple things that he helped me unhook while we were there. We got our vent hose. That attaches right here. We took the bolt off that holds on that bracket, disconnected our ABS wheel speed sensor. We took all 4 bolts off for this rear sway bar, and we're not taking those off because we don't need to. So yeah, I saw something while I was taking these nuts out. See how much space you have to get to that connector? I don't know if you can see it that well. There's a fuel pump right there. God. Nowadays on these newer Rams, you got barely any room to get to the connector. They want you to, you know, if you need to do any sort of electrical testing, you got to get to that connector. And it's near impossible to reach. So this, you just got to pull that little splash shield out, and it's right there. Man. There we go. There's a couple 15s you got to pull off too. Alright, come on baby, be nice to me. What side is sticking? Oh, I think we're out. So those two 15s I pulled, I don't think you actually have to pull those. It's like a stud, and it holds the spring pack together. This thing's actually pretty light. I was able to manhandle it by myself. Alright, so the other thing I was planning to do was to pull all the cab bolts out. Or not the cab bolts, the bolts that hold on the bed. But I'm not going to record any of that, so from your end, that's it for today.